Okay here. It's been a couple of weeks. I've been busy. That's all. I'm here with book haul today. These are the books that I bought in March, in April, and thus far in May. Today is, what, the 18th? So most of May. I may get more books this month. My birthday is on the 26th, so it's possible that there will be a birthday book haul. I don't really know yet. Most of my family doesn't like to buy me books, but sometimes they do get me gift cards, which is nice. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you all of the things. I do not remember when I bought any of these, so this is totally random order. Sorry, guys. In case it was that important to you to know exactly which month I bought all of these books. The first thing I have is Paper Paging Through History by Mark Kurlansky. This is a microhistory about paper. I got this from the publisher, and I will be reading it soon, I hope. It sounds really interesting. And it's also quite pretty. So that's very exciting. He wrote Salt, which is a microhistory of salt, which is also very cool. So totally into this. Really excited to read it. Next, I have a handful of books that I have read since I bought them, which is good. And a lot of them I've talked about already, but I bought Binti by Nnedi Okorafor. This is a novella about a girl who travels from her home planet, which is Earth, to attend the most prestigious university in the country, and how she confronts and how others confront her cultural traditions. Really wonderful. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, definitely recommend checking this out. I also bought Uprooted by Naomi Novik, finally. There's been a lot of hype around this book. It was just nominated for and won a bunch of awards. I enjoyed this. This is about it's kind of fairy tale-esque. It's about a young girl who lives in a town where every year the wizard who lives in the high tower and protects their town, or not every year, every 10 years? Is it 10 years? Yeah. He comes down and takes one of the young girls captive for 10 years, and, you know, of course our protagonist is taken captive by the wizard, and that's all I can really tell you. It was pretty good. I did not hate it, which I kind of expected to hate it, because a lot of people whose reviews that I trust really didn't like this or were really disappointed by it. But I enjoyed it. It was a fun read. It was quick. And if you're interested, give it a shot. I bought The Nest by Cynthia Dupree Sweeney. This is beautiful. And I was really excited when I heard about this, long before it was released, because it's the story of 4 siblings. They're living in New York City, and one of the siblings, he fucks up, and he basically has to drain their trust fund, which all of them have been patiently awaiting the arrival of this money that they had in this trust, and now they can't have it because of some stupid shit that he did. I was really hoping to love this. I really like kind of sibling stories. I'm one of 4 kids myself, so I was really intrigued by that element of it. The cover's beautiful. It sounded wonderful. Was not my favorite, which I mentioned in my April wrap-up, and I'm going to do a review on it so that you can know why I didn't like it. But, yes, still very pretty. I just finished Barsk yesterday. I recently acquired this. Let's Read and I did a buddy read for it, he was my buddy for Book Buddy-a-thon, but we decided that we were just going to read Barsk because we're both kind of busy, and we just wanted to read it. So I was totally intrigued by this book. I had never heard of it. And it's basically the synopsis is like, this is about anthropomorphic elephant drug lords, basically, which is not really what it's about, but it was really good. I might do a review on it. It was nominated for the Nebula Award last year, and I actually went to buy this, and my bookstore had signed copies, which was very exciting, so I figured that was a good sign. It's very deep. There's a lot going on here and a lot to extract. It's very philosophical. So if you like a little philosophy on the side with your science fiction, you should do this. Also, if you like talking elephants, you should do this. I also bought a few books that I read a really long time ago, but either didn't own copies of or owned kind of like crappy or mass market paperback copies that I wanted to upgrade because they're books I really enjoyed. The first one is Kurt Vonnegut's Mother Night. This is the first Vonnegut I ever read, which was a really interesting starting place with Vonnegut, but I loved it. It was real good. So yes, now I have that, which is very exciting. I finally got a decent edition of To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I've had a really crappy mass market paperback edition that, like, went through all of my school years with me, so it was annotated to death and was pretty much falling to bits. So I got this nice anniversary edition, which Harper Perennial just released when they released the new book. Ghost Set of Watchmen. I haven't read that. I'm not going to read that. But I really like it, and it's pretty. It has deckled edges, which I have no opinion about. And yay. And I was at the used bookstore today, actually, and found this used copy of Albert Camus' The Stranger. I've read The Stranger, again, like 100 times for school, and so I have a really ratty paperback copy. They put bookmarks in every single one of my books. And this is the Everyman's Library edition, and I like these editions a lot. They look very nice on the shelf, so at half off, you really can't beat that. So I picked this up. I bought Arcadia by Ian Pearce. This, Jen Campbell and Holly from Holly Dunn Design have both been talking about this a lot. It's supposed to be absolutely fantastic. And I've read the blurb like 4 times and I still don't know what it's about. I guess there are a bunch of interlocking worlds and people can go in and out of the worlds. It's supposed to be kind of reminiscent of Narnia and his Dark Materials, but it's for adults, so I'm really excited about this. This, again, is signed. My bookstore is crushing it with these signed editions these days, y'all. Anyway, so that's exciting, so I have that. I also bought All the Birds in the Sky by Charlie Jane Anders. This is a sci-fi fantasy book, both, and it's about a couple of friends who were lovers and now aren't, I believe, and she can do magic and he can, like, time travel. Something weird. All I know is that it's going to be really weird and it's going to blow my mind and I'm going to love it. So I'm excited. Elizabeth from Books and Pieces just read this and had really good things to say about it, but she did say that it was super weird. So, but I like that, so I'm all about it. I bought a collection of poetry. This is Forest Primeval by Vive Francis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I know nothing about her. As I do with poetry, I just picked it up off the shelf and, like, read a couple of pages and was like, yes, please. So I have this. I have not read it yet. I'm very excited to read it. Also, if anyone knows of booktubers who read and review a lot of poetry, please let me know, because I don't really have anywhere to get poetry recommendations from these days. So, I mean, Jen reads a lot of good poetry. But anyone else, I want to know. Tell me. So I have that. So I couldn't go to the bookstore on Independent Bookstore Day, which was April 30th here, because I had to work a 14-hour shift, which, you know, I can't also go to a bookstore. But there were a couple of things that I really wanted that I knew my bookstore was going to have for Independent Bookstore Day. Some of, like, the swag that they release for just that day. And luckily enough, I was able to go back a couple days later when I was finally off work and pick some of it up. So I got The Care and Feeding of an Independent Bookstore. This is 3 instructive essays by Ann Patchett. Ann Patchett is amazing. Previously read her collection, This is the Story of a Happy Marriage, and I loved it. She is the owner of Parnassus Books in Tennessee, I believe, and this is about bookstores. It's also signed by Ann Patchett, which is really why I wanted it. Also, it's an adorable little pamphlet. I did also get the Neil Gaiman Chris Riddle coloring book, which I don't have with me right now. But it's awesome, y'all. It's beautiful. I don't even know that I'm ever going to color it. I'm just going to look at it. It's so amazing. So I got those things. I got more books while I was there, picking up those 2 things that I really wanted. I got the paperback edition of Get in Trouble by Kelly Link. I really adore Kelly Link, and I was going to buy Get in Trouble in hardback when it came out, but all of the other collections of hers that I have are in paperback, and I wanted them to match. So, at least, like, all be in paperback. So, I'm really excited about this. This cover is awesome, by the way, and I really like the upside-down house. It's way cooler than the hardback anyway, so I'm really glad that I held out for it. I also picked up The Life of Elves by Muriel Barbery. I believe that this is a newer release from Europa. She is a French author, probably most well known for The Elegance of a Hedgehog, which I read last year and really enjoyed. So, I'm excited to have this. This sounds totally different than Elegance of the Hedgehog, though, and I'll read it to you because it's kind of hard to describe. It says, when the harmony between living beings turns to discord, the seasons will be loosed from their moorings and the natural world thrown into disarray. Human beings, no longer capable of feeling either empathy or enchantment, will abandon themselves to hate, violence, and war. An epic battle between forces that wish to reestablish harmony in the world and those that wish to shatter it definitively is being waged on Earth and in the mysterious land of Mist, where the elves dwell. A ragtag army of rural peasants gathers in readiness for the fight, their weapons an age-old kinship with the land and an affinity for magic. But humankind cannot hope to win this battle alone. Victory depends on help from the inhabitants of a world that is hidden from human sight. Hope rests with Maria and Clara, two girls whose prodigious artistic talents and deep connections with nature make communion with the numinous realm possible. So, if you've read The Elegance of the Hedgehog, this is nothing like Elegance of the Hedgehog. That book is deeply literary, very grounded in philosophy, and this sounds like elves and joint worlds and things, so I'm excited. So, as I mentioned, I was at the used bookstore today, and when I go to used bookstores now, I always keep an eye out for the old vintage Murakami editions, because they changed them in the US, and now they're super ugly, and I really like the old ones. And the old ones are what I own all of his work that I've read in. So, luckily, I found two of them, and they're in, pristine condition. So this is Blind Willow, Sleeping Woman. This is 24 short stories. I previously read one collection of short stories by Murakami, and I enjoyed it thoroughly, so I'm really excited about this. And it's only 300 and something pages, so these stories cannot be terribly long. There are 24 of them. So, that's very exciting. I also got South of the Border, West of the Sun, which is a novel, and I know nothing about it. I am not going to learn anything about it before I read it, because I don't like to know anything about Murakami novels before I read them. But, again, in the old vintage editions with, the faces on them. These are my favorite. The new ones are terrible. And they're also, really shiny. I don't like it. Other things I got is Allie Smith's There But For Thee. Allie Smith's work is really weirdly hard to find in the US, which is annoying. Except for, her, newest release is always available, but her kind of backlist is really hard to find. So I was really excited to find this. I like this very simple cover. I just started reading How to Be Both by Allie Smith, which will be the first book I've read by her, and I'm really enjoying it. So, hoping that this goes just as well. I believe that this is supposed to be a little bit more difficult of a read than How to Be Both. It's about a man who locks himself in a room during a dinner party and refuses to come out, and then, the media get involved, and he communicates through, cryptic notes and stuff. I don't know, sounds crazy, and I'm excited about it. I picked up a play. I've been wanting to read more plays. I just don't really think about them until I do. This is August Wilson's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and it's about a jazz singer in the 1920s. I've been wanting to read August Wilson's plays forever. They're very critically acclaimed, and I don't feel like they're read very widely, as they maybe should be. So, I'm really excited to have this, and can't wait to read it. It's tiny. I'll get through it pretty quickly, I think. Okay, this is the last, novel, and then I'll go into the graphic novels. So, I have The View from Castle Rock by Alice Munro. This is a collection of short stories. I'm collecting her work in these editions, mostly because, oh my gosh, they literally put a bookmark in every single one of the books I bought. Okay, I'm collecting her work in these editions, mostly because I really like the way that the spines look all together, because they all say Alice Munro in a different color, and have different color text, but they're just, plain white otherwise, and they look really nice together. So this is, my 7th one of those, and I did not have this one yet, and again, it was used, and again, in pristine condition. Every time I go to a bookstore, I find a beautiful Alice Munro book that's been used, which is amazing. So, I have this. I feel like I almost have enough unread Alice Munro to, get me through a month. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just read Alice Munro for a month. That'd be crazy. I'd probably get really sad. Okay. For the graphic novels, I'm not going to talk a lot about these. Most of them I've already read. Usually I read graphic novels, as soon as I get them. I haven't read all of them, but most of them I have, and they'll be my next graphic novels wrap-up, which I promise is coming, next week. So I bought volumes 4, 5, 6, and 7 of Amulet. I have read volumes 4, 5, and 6. I have not yet read volume 7. This is a middle grades graphic novel series. It's very good and very pretty. So, that's exciting. I have the 3rd volume of Lumberjanes, which I read during Dewey's 24-hour readathon and was lovely. This series is excellent, and I'm very happy to support the women who write it. I've got the first volume of Paper Girls, which is a highly anticipated release from Brian K. Vaughan. It did not disappoint me at all. So if you've been eyeing it and haven't bought it yet, I suggest that you go out and get it. It's very good. I got the first volume of Giant Days, which I wrapped up in April as well. This surprised me. It's supposed to be young adults, I believe, but it really blew me away. It's very fantastic. The characters are amazing. So I'm looking forward to continuing on with this series. I've also bought and already read I Hate Fairyland, the first volume by Scotty Young. This was amazing. It's like everything I wanted from it and then some. So I cannot wait. Like, look at that. It's like a rainbow explosion, y'all. So I cannot wait to carry on with this series. I was a little bit skeptical, but it blew me away. Then I have 3 that I have not had a chance to read yet, and mostly because they're larger and a little bit denser. So I bought Cursed Pirate Girl by Jeremy Bastian. I met Jeremy Bastian at North Carolina Comic Con in November, and he was like live drawing there. He was sketching at his table, or his booth, or whatever it's called. And his art, y'all, like, it's so crazy detailed, and he does this all himself, I believe. It's crazy detailed and really beautiful. It's all black and white. Like, I don't even know if it's going to pick up on camera how crazy and amazing this is. So I'm really excited to finally read this. I've been meaning to forever. And yeah, it's just awesome. It's so cool. So I'll update you when I get to it. It's about a cursed pirate girl. It's an adventure above and below the mythical waters of Omerta Seas. A nautical fairy tale of strange creatures, whimsical characters, swashbuckling danger, and the most bizarre pirates you could hope for. Yes, please. Yes, please. I got Blankets, finally, by Craig Thompson. This is huge, y'all. And I knew it was huge. I got this used for half off, and it's normally like $30, so I have wanted it forever, but that's really pricey for a graphic novel, which are already pricey to begin with, even though it is huge. So I'm excited. I might save it for winter time. I hear it's really nice to read this in the winter time. We'll see. And I got Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. I've been eyeing this for a while. This is about a girl who works in a restaurant, I believe, and yeah, she's a young chef. And then something crazy happens, and she's able to, like, time travel, I think. So, I'm excited. Brian Lee O'Malley is pretty awesome, and this looks great. That's all I have. This is, like, the longest haul ever. I promise that I won't wait to acquire this many books to do my next haul. All that being said, though, I've read quite a few of these already, and have been doing really well still, not accumulating a ton of books that I don't have time to read. So, that's good. If you've read any of these, we can talk about them in the comments. Or if you have any questions about any of them, you can ask me, because I'm really bad at giving synopses for books that I've read, let alone books that I haven't read. And I'm sorry about that. I try to know what I'm talking about, but it doesn't always work out. It's lovely being back here talking to you all, and I will be back soon. Bye. Say hi. Yeah. Say hi. Say hi. I hate it. Look. Say hi.